Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of Back to the Clubs with me, Major K. I'm a DJ, producer, and record label boss, and in this series, I'm talking to other DJs about their club experiences. What was the first club they ever went to? Which club is still on their bucket list? And who are you? Who? Those are but a few of the questions I'm asking every week, and the answers are often surprising. In previous episodes we had, amongst others, Mason, DJ Licious, Vanilla Ace and Insulate as a guest. Today, Tomorrowland resident Yves V. But first, be sure to subscribe to Back to the Clubs in your podcast app. Give the show a raving rating too. It really helps more people find the podcast. So thanks in advance for doing that. Check out our Patreon page as well, patreon.com/officialmajork. Get bonus content by subscribing and supporting, like, for instance, 4 tracks every month from my label Flash Forward Presents. Do check my 2 weekly mix podcast, Flash Forward Presents with Major K, in your podcast app as well. And support Ukraine by buying merchandise in my online store, flashinghotshop.com. Head over there to see how that works. And now our guest. I've known Yves V for quite some time now, even was there when he had his first solo show. All exciting stuff. But although Yves has toured the world and played the biggest stages, he's very humble about that and enjoys the crowd and being near them most of all. It's like he still can't believe he's living the life that he does, living the dream, as it were. So enjoy the show. Here we go.
Back to the Clubs with Major K.
So in this episode of Back to the Clubs, none other than Yves V. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. It's been a long time since we've seen each other, and there's, let's say that the pandemic had everything to do with that, right?
For sure. It's been too long, almost 2 years, I guess. So, but finally we can do again what we love to do. So I think slowly life is getting back to normal.
Yeah, slowly but surely, and with the summer festivals coming, that's going to be really, really amazing to feel that vibe again.
100%. I actually just had a few shows like the last weeks, and it felt amazing. So it's good to be back and to finally do what we love to do. So for sure.
Back in front of a huge crowd already, or?
Tomorrowland Winter was big crowds. Shows before that were more like clubs, I think 2,000-3,000 people, but still like packed and a lot of energy. You can feel that the crowd is ready as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. Everywhere I go where there are DJs playing and you have that atmosphere, you can tell that people really want to go out, really want to go dance again, club again, see each other again, hold each other again.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling that that's possible again, I think. I must say, you've been a busy bee during the pandemic as well, but because like in 2021 there were 6 singles that you've released on Spinnin'. So you had more time to do that kind of stuff and had fun with that as well then.
Yeah, 100%. To be honest, I don't know how many releases I had, but for sure it were a few, and I also did a lot of remixes. So. But yeah, that was the only thing we could do. I could finally spend some more time with the family and things where I normally don't have time for. And of course, music. So I really focused on producing and also more like streaming radio-friendly music. Because when the pandemic started, I think I had a few club releases back then. But I really had the feeling like, okay, I have to keep this on hold. And let's focus on the streaming and radio-friendly kind of music, and it worked well for me. So
yeah, because that's the thing, right? You have your club releases which work in clubs and are made for clubs, but radio singles, radio edits, that's kind of different.
No, yeah, totally different. And like before, I used to release like club singles quite often, but it felt really strange, to be honest. nobody could play it. Normally, yeah, like when you have a release of a new single, you can make a video as well during a live show. Nothing of that was happening. So
No.
yeah,
For people who might know you, they know this already. For people who don't know you, they are gonna learn about this. 2007, I think, was your first appearance at Tomorrowland. That was your first real big experience there, I
that's
think.
possible. I think it was a second edition, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's been a long journey. I've been there almost from the beginning, and I was lucky enough to see and feel the evolution of the festival as well, and my evolution. So yeah, I'm super happy to be still part of it, and it was until now already a beautiful journey as well. Many things happened.
Yeah, because the festival has really changed over those years as well.
Yeah, 100%. I remember when I started, like the festival was already big in Belgium, but I remember when I talked with friends about Tomorrowland or, hey guys, you want to join me? The reaction back then and now was totally different. And also like when I played abroad, like that suddenly there was a moment that people, wherever I went, like if it was Mexico or Indonesia, it doesn't matter. People knew Tomorrowland, and even not Belgium, but they knew Tomorrowland. So I think at that point we realized, like, okay, I think they're doing something special out there.
Yeah, because I remember in the old days when the festival started, it was like crazy guys doing something in like a big park. What's that gonna be? And oh yeah, perhaps we're going to Tomorrowland. And right now it's like if you don't watch out, in 20 seconds the festival is sold out. Even 2-3 weekends at this moment. So,
yeah, I think everybody wants to be there now. So
absolutely, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
I
100%.
think.
Yeah.
Going all the way back to your first club experiences, what was the first club that you visited?
I remember when I bought my first record, it was, I think, around 15 years old. And yeah, from then on, my dream was like to play in clubs. And I remember the first clubs that I went to, and I think I was around 16 years old, would be like Café d'Anvers, Fuse in Brussels. And back then you had a club in Brussels, Hoesland as well. I think those clubs were the first ones that I went to. And then quite fast after that, it was like Zillion, Illusion. Illusion had a very big part in my, especially in the trance music. I was a huge fan of their sound back then. And yeah, I think I went to all the Belgian clubs from Illusion to La Rocca to Cherry Moon. Was an amazing period. And I was standing in line for hours to get in the club. And then I think inside I was only looking at the DJ and learning, and was amazing period in my life, to be honest.
Yeah, you mentioned Illusion and the trance that was being played there. Is trance more where you come from, musically speaking?
I think I also, that was a real journey for me, because I think when my first records were trance, and then I think I went from trance to a bit more techno, because I Love Techno back then was also really big, and like I mentioned, Fuse Club. But I think it was always somewhere between trance, techno, a bit later more like the housey, like Bob Sinclair, David Guetta, like the more housey stuff as well. I was always quite broad music-wise, to be honest. But it was also, it was very difficult for me to make a decision, like, okay, which style am I gonna do as a DJ? So it took me a while for that as well.
Yeah, but yeah, and as you mentioned, you've visited a lot of clubs with a lot of different styles. Fuse was more like the techno-minded one, Illusion then the trance one. Yeah, you get all sorts of inspiration as well from seeing other DJs play, and perhaps then you can decide for yourself, well, this might be the direction I want to go in.
Yeah, for sure. And also, the DJs back then, they were really my heroes. If I ever in my life could play once in a club, that would be, my dream would come true then. So a lot have changed since then as well.
Yeah, for sure. Because you're doing clubs worldwide now. So yeah, that's kind of more than one step up. More
Yeah,
than one step up.
yeah.
Do you remember the first club that you played a gig at?
Oh, I, it took a long time for me, to be honest. I went out to those clubs. I remember because I played a long time in my bedroom. I made like the mixtapes, went to all the clubs. I gave it to everyone. No reaction. Nobody was interested. And then back then, I think I started in Antwerp. Like, yeah, first I also did like the DJ contest because back then it was quite huge. So every club did like a night, like a DJ contest. So I did them as well. I think I never won. Uh, and then finally, I started to organize my own parties, like small parties. I think even in a bar in Belgium, in Antwerp, sorry. And I remember I had the chance to play like more in a dance bar from then on. It was like 3 nights or 4 nights sometimes in a week. And then I had to play all kinds of music, so from R&B, pop to trance, like commercial, non-commercial was like the whole night. And that I learned a lot. And I think, I don't remember the first club. I think it should be maybe the backstage of La Rocca or Nox, because I like the opening of Nox. I started as a resident there, but I think before I played probably in the backstage of La Rocca. I think maybe that's the first real club that I played.
Yeah, and sadly, La Rocca is gone. It would have been gone for sure as well because they ended activities and it's going to be torn down. But yeah, a week before the final party, a 24-hour party, should have taken place, it burned down.
Yeah,
That was really a sad sight and sad to hear.
unbelievable to be honest. But even besides La Rocca, for me, it's the period when I started, so it has a special place in my heart. But like the closing of all those memorable clubs like Cherry Moon, Zillion, Illusion, Café d'Anvers, La Rocca now, oh, it's so sad for me. And I can really feel the difference as well between like the young kids who go out now, and if you compare with us, like we were really in a club culture. Sometimes I did like 2 3 clubs at night, and yeah, that was like where I was saving my money for to go out during the weekends. And yeah, so but I think everything changes, and it's a shame, but everything evolves, and we have to evolve with the scene. So
Yeah.
music evolves, and also the scene. Like especially in Belgium, I think for now the club scene is not what it was like 20 years ago, but I can only hope it will come back, or something different will come up. I'm really curious to see that, but now we have like a real festival culture, and like during the summer there's a lot of choice, a lot of different festivals in each genre of music. So that's also nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of young people are now spending their money there rather than going out every week to a club. And
Yeah,
I think
it
that,
seems like that.
yeah, think so.
Yeah.
I think so. We talked a little bit about the high quality festivals that we have here in Belgium and around the world, of course. But if we would talk about high quality clubs, what would a high quality club need for you to really excel? What is really important for you in a
As a
club?
DJ,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, besides the good sound equipment and like production wise, for me it's very important to stand not far from the crowds, because I really love to interact with the crowd as well. I even prefer them like around me, in front of me, and then of course, a good sound system. But I think if that is right, then that's all what I need. Like a good interaction with the crowd, good sound system. I think I can work with that.
Yeah. And when Yves V goes clubbing, what is really important for you in that environment?
To be honest, when I go clubbing now, not much. I go out to just to just spend some time with my friends, or it's not like 10 years ago. So I'm already satisfied with even a small club. It doesn't have to be like the biggest club with the most lights. It can be, I don't know, more an intimate vibe is also something that I can really appreciate. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's more like the experience with friends, perhaps.
Yeah, because I like when I look, especially like the years before the pandemic, I was always on the road, always on tour. I actually didn't have much time to spend with friends and to go out myself. I went out after the show, of course, and some I had one friend or like a tour manager or a camera guy with me, so it was always fun. But like spending quality time with friends, and I didn't have much time for that. So probably now I'm enjoying it even more.
Yeah, and I guess as you're a touring DJ, seeing a lot of clubs and environments, as it's perhaps your job that you don't necessarily want to spend your free time, your spare time, always hanging around in clubs either.
I can go to a club and enjoy myself, and it's not that when I'm in a club, I'm criticizing the other DJ or checking out like, oh, is he doing well? Because people always think, hey, can you enjoy yourself? And I can definitely enjoy myself even if the DJ is doing a bad job. It's not that I'm there to criticize him. So I have no problem with that at all. So no, of course I can enjoy myself, but especially like back then as well. If you are playing like five times a week, sometimes you prefer also to maybe to have dinner and go to a more relaxed bar or something like that.
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. Speaking about DJs, is there a DJ set that you saw someone perform at the club that you think, well, that blew my socks off? This is amazing, really incredible.
Oh, many, to be honest. I remember what, and I even don't know the name of the guy, but I remember I was in Brazil and the warm-up DJ before me was really playing like a more house, tech house kind of set. But it was, yeah, the vibe that he created back then was amazing. And I did it myself as well. Like warming up is not that easy as people think. So, and he created a vibe, and I was actually standing there having a drink, I remember, and yeah, I was so ready to go on, and it was actually all because of him. So that's actually one set I really remember, and it's probably the vibe as well. It was outdoor, it was like for me more like holiday vibe, but yeah, I meet so many amazing DJs, and it are not always like the big names. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that example that you've given, do you remember what club that was?
I remember where it was. It was in Balneário Camboriú in Brazil. It's a very famous place because I remember I played the day before in Green Valley, which was back then I think the number one club of the world. And you have Warum Club, also a very famous techno club. And I played the second night in the club beside it. I think Belvedere Club. That's a name. Yeah. It's difficult to explain, but he did an amazing job. So well done.
When do you think of yourself that you did an amazing job?
When I'm off stage and I had the feeling that the crowd and me were in the same story, like within the same vibe, and it's very difficult to explain. If I don't have that feeling, then I always feel bad, and I think it was a bad night.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it reflects a little bit what I asked earlier about what does a good club need. If you have that connection with people, if you're really surrounded by your crowd and that you feel that they're in there with you,
Yeah.
then it elevates the music that you choose, the mixing that you do, and all that stuff.
Yeah, true. Because I also played like, for example, like huge festivals where you stand like quite far from the crowd. Of course, you hear the shouting and people sing along or like waving their hands. But even then, when they're that far from me, I always have the feeling, oh, I don't know if it was a good show. Very strange.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes when I
Yeah.
see like an after movie or some footage from my show, then I think, okay, apparently it was good. But it's very hard to explain also. But I really need to feel it like in front of me. Otherwise, I'm always doubting.
Yeah. But that's not a bad thing, you know. The self doubt, it keeps you fresh, it keeps you on your toes, and make sure that you give it your all every set that you play.
Yeah, and I'm always doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Is there one set of yours that like you remembered the guy playing at in Brazil? Is there one set of yours that really comes to mind? Like this was really such a great night for me. This is everything aligned. It was just
Oh,
perfect.
yeah, but also so many times. And lucky because otherwise I think I had to find another job perhaps.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, so many. Yeah, I remember you have like Guaba Beach Club in Cyprus. I think every time when I play there, I had the feeling like, wow, this is something else. But I did so many times, so I think that's only a good thing that you have that kind of feeling. If you have that feeling, that is also the reason why I became a DJ.
It's very rewarding, and it keeps you going on, going strong, doing what you do, and yeah, loving what you do at the same
Yeah.
time, I guess. Yeah. Is there a club that you've been to the most? Perhaps it's a club in Belgium, but it doesn't necessarily need to be. Yeah, a club that you visited the
I
most, not
visited the
necessarily.
most.
Yeah.
I think that would be probably like back then, Zillion and Illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's talk a bit about Zillion, because that's a legendary club as
Yeah.
well. They're making a movie even from the experience there, and the legend that is the
Yeah.
Zillion. Can you explain to people what they should know about Zillion?
The feeling that I had about Zillion, but probably I think I was also around 16, so I remember I couldn't enter the club, so I always have to do it in
Yeah,
a yeah.
naughty boy.
No, but
Yeah.
the feeling that I had with Zillion is a bit the feeling that you have now with Tomorrowland. It was a club where they were really standing out in everything what they did. I remember if they did like team nights, for example, a popcorn night, you were standing in popcorn for half a meter in popcorn in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then it was a production unseen in Belgium, like unbelievable. But again, I was 15, 16 years old, so I was standing there like, wow, what
Yeah.
is this?
Totally in awe of what was happening there.
Yeah, indeed. What I really like about that period as well, and not only Zillion, but if you went to a club in Belgium, if it was La Rocca, Café d'Anvers, it doesn't matter. Every club had their own sound. So you could close your eyes and you would know I'm in this club. Nowadays, it's, I think, impossible. But every club, even there were 4 trance clubs, even then you would know I'm in Zillion and not in Cherry Moon, for example.
Yeah, and that still remains a bit, because the clubs may be gone, but the name and the atmosphere are reflected in parties that they do, big parties sometimes in one of the biggest venues in Belgium, the Sportpaleis in Antwerp.
Yeah.
So you know they try to recreate that vibe, and a lot of people are loving it.
Yeah, true. But I think it's also because it's our generation, so
Yeah, I guess a little bit of nostalgia,
yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned Green Valley in Brazil as being the number one club in the world, certainly at a certain point. Is that the case in what you hear from people at this moment still, or is there another club that you think, well, the number one at this moment is X or Y?
I think it's the same with DJs. It's very hard to name one club as the best club in the world. There are so many nice clubs out there. So it was back then definitely one of the better ones, but there were more.
What's so special about Green Valley then?
It's a huge club. the crowd, but I think the crowd in Brazil in general is really good. They're well educated. They know the music, and it's like half outdoor, half indoor. It's with palm trees. And now they upgraded their production as well with the LED screen. It's beautiful. It's kind of a festival club because it's that big.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I mentioned, I think almost in every country you will find a club which could be the number one
Yeah.
club of the world. There are many nice and good clubs out there.
Yeah. You've been touring Asia a lot of the times as well. How's the club scene over there? What stands out?
Oh, Asia, for example, China, the clubs there, they rebuilt the clubs from Las Vegas or Ibiza, for example. So yeah, the amount of clubs that they have and they're full like 7 days a week, it's unbelievable. But yeah, also like I did Zouk Singapore, it was a nice club. Malaysia. What really stands out of Asia, for example, is that they are still in the club scene. I don't have the feeling that they're struggling like, unfortunately, some clubs here in Belgium.
I think perhaps that the thing that we've experienced in the last 20 years that they are now experiencing more like that vibe has just moved on from Europe more to the east, and that they are discovering what clubs can be, what club life can be. Would you say that's a correct interpretation of things?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think we have electronic dance music. I don't know, for the last 30 years or so. I think in Asia, in some countries, maybe 5, 10 years. I don't know, but it's still a huge difference than if you compare it with Belgium. So 100%, and in some cities, it's still quite fresh. So. And people
Yeah.
are spoiled here as well. We everybody saw everything already, like every production, every what can you do
To
to
impress.
impress the crowd? It's really hard. So yeah,
Yeah. People always say that the reception of DJs or artists in Asia is so different than from here, like that there really are heroes. Is that the welcome that you are getting when you go over there and play there as well?
yeah, 100%. Especially like, for example, Japan is unbelievable. The crowd is, they make gifts for you. I remember that they were waiting for me in the airport. They thought I would arrive like, I think 7 in the morning, but it was 7 at night. So they were standing here the whole day to see me like 15 seconds. And
Yeah.
I really felt bad about it, but, and also in the club there, it's unbelievable the kind of emotions that you see in those countries. So yeah, for sure there is a difference. Yeah, 100%.
But that's nice as well that you can tour the world and that you see, well, people reacting differently to your sets, but to you as a person as well. Yeah, it's enriching, I think, to see how club culture differs from one country to the other, from one continent to another.
Yeah, no, that's something what I really love about my job now, like touring the world, meeting people all over the world, and it's a dream coming true if you can do that, which so-called your job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Talking about dreams coming true, is there a club that you haven't played at yet, but that you really want to play at?
Yeah, I. It's funny, but I think every club where I didn't play it, I want to play there.
That's a
Yeah.
really broad answer. That's a really
Yeah,
broad
no, but there's
answer.
there's not like one club standing out. Maybe like I've never been in Las Vegas, to be honest. So I would love to play in one of those clubs like Omnia, or never been there. It looks amazing. So that would be nice if you could be there. If you could headline a show there, that's still on my list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or even some DJs have a residency there, do their gig every night or every week or whatever. If you could open for one of those DJs, that would suit you as well, I think.
For sure. No, that would be really nice. So Las Vegas is one of the things that is still on my list.
Okay,
Yeah.
so reaching out to Cascade, if possible, you know who Yves V is, take him with you and make that dream come true as well. Where can people find you in the next couple of weeks? Because festival season is coming up, that's for sure. Are there any club gigs that you are playing next couple of weeks?
I'm playing in Denmark. I'm doing Croatia. I think the club in Croatia is Aquarius. I'm playing one of the biggest clubs in Switzerland, but I forgot the name. I'm doing a small tour in India as well. Actually, I have a lot of things coming up. I think Sunrise Festival in Belgium is in June, and then the summer is going really well. So finally, we're there again, and we're back on the road. So.
Yeah,
lots of stuff, lots of shows coming up.
Yeah, and I guess with the history that you have with Tomorrowland, that's one of the highlights of the summer as well.
Yes.
3 weekends, so 3 times that you're going to be there.
No,
3 weekends,
I'm playing 2 times the main stage, and
okay.
I'm also playing Barcelona Beach Festival in beginning of July. That was really on my list for a long time. Huge festival at the beach, so. Can't wait for that one. And of course, like you said, Tomorrowland. That's finally we're there again. This is always one of the highlights of the year. So I'm counting down the days.
Well, so am I, and I hope we can meet up over there. It's going to be so good to have that back and to have kind of a regular summer again.
That would be nice. Let's hope.
Yeah, let's hope. Thank you so much, Yves V, for being here and being my guest in Back to the Clubs. Hope we see each other soon. And thanks once more for your time.
Thank you.
After 12 guests, I sure do have a lot of meeting up to do, that's for sure. Don't forget to subscribe to Back to the Clubs in your podcast app and find me as @officialmajork on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Also, and even more important, go buy some dance music merchandise at flashinghotshop.com and support Ukraine while doing so. Great deal, no? Next week's guest is still under wraps. I don't dare to announce anymore unless I've recorded the interview, and that's not the case at this moment. You can understand that, no? So find out with me, see you next time, and enjoy the sunshine. Bye bye.
Back to the Clubs with Major K.